Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Fantasy Booking here on the Zap Gaming channel. I'm one of the voices of As the Book Turns, Tim Green, and today we have finally reached Fyter Fest 2020. And then our opening matchup, we have the AEW TNT Championship. We have the best of 5 series, the second matchup between MJF and Jungle Boy. We have FTR and the Young Bucks teaming up against SCU and Private Party. We have the AEW World Tag Team Championships versus Adam Hangman Page and Kenny Omega versus the Best Friends. The AEW World Women's Championship is up for grabs in a no disqualification, no countout matchup. This time it'll be Hikaru Shida defending against Nyla Rose. And in our main event, we have AEW World Champion Jon Moxley versus Darby Allin. So it should be a very good matchup, a good card, I believe. All right, so we've gone over our card. Let's dive right into the action. Roll that. Wait, I don't have an opener. Diving right into the main card. We have Cody defending the TNT Championship against David Starr. In a decent matchup, Cody drew with David Starr in 20 minutes when the time limit expired. For the second year, Cody Rhodes has a time limit draw at Fyter Fest, which I just think is funny. I couldn't resist this, honestly. So technically he does retain. I'm not sure how it is going to be in game, so it will be interesting to see if this will count as his 6th title retain defense or not. So we'll see about that. I'm counting it as a title defense because he didn't lose it. It's one of those technicalities, but if the game doesn't count it, I may rethink that. We'll see. But Cody had an 83 overall. I did fix Cody because the stats, it did not match up to reality. David Starr had a 45, which I feel like it should be a little bit higher. I ran some issues with my first run through. I had to go check for some reason, which I don't understand. But this was higher, so I think it's just the range that he's having in right now, because this was like 54, now it's a 45, so I think it's just ranging through cycles overall. Moving on, we have Jungle Boy and MJF in the second match of their best of 5 series. Jungle Boy won the first matchup. MJF is able to tie it up in a decent matchup. He wins at 16 minutes and 15 seconds by pinfall Swanton Bomb after Warlow interfered. So they are tied up. And it's interesting that MJF needed help to defeat Jungle Boy. But all that matters is he got the win, tied 1-1. It'll be interesting to see where this goes. Overall, the match rating for these two are 62 for both, and it gained heat, the Better Than You storyline. I'm happy with that. The 65 rating for this, I do kind of wish it was a little bit higher, but I'll take it because the in-ring matches performance was a 62 and the rating is higher, so I can't argue with it. But I do wish it was a little bit higher. In our next matchup, we have Brittany Blake going against Brooke Adams. And in a decent matchup, Brittany Blake defeated Brooke Adams in 20 minutes and 10 seconds by pinfall with a roll-up. Brooke Adams makes her AEW debut, and she is all Elite Wrestling. Brittany Blake had a 54 rating, as Brooke Adams had a 61, which is pretty good. Just a little disappointing that the rating was a 52 because at one of the other simulations it was a little bit higher, but it is what it is. I'll take it. STR and the Young Bucks team up against SCU and Private Party, with those two previous teams not happy being caught in the mix between one-upsmanship between FTR and the Young Bucks, and wanting to prove they are just as good as they, if not better. But unfortunately, in this decent matchup, FTR and the Young Bucks defeated SCU and Private Party in 24 minutes and 47 seconds when Dax Harwood defeated Mark Queen by pinfall. Crash Wheeler is getting better at his gimmick. Mark Queen seemed off his game. The Jackson Boys were 70 and 73. Cash was 71 and Dax was at 66, which is pretty low for him. And 71 for Cash is actually low. He's been really high the last few weeks. But then we have Isaiah Cassia at 49. Ooh. 41 for Mark Queen. 61 for Scuba Sky. But the Elite Fracture storyline was progressed, which is good. But this should have been higher, honestly. But can't really argue with it. I do think it should have been higher. But oh well. Moving on. We have Tessa Blanchard versus Mayu Itami in a bout that had great wrestling and good heat. Tessa Blanchard defeated Mayu Itami in 20 minutes in 5 seconds. Wanted to build to this. I almost gave the win to Mayu Itami. So I actually didn't give the win to Tessa. The game did. I simulated this matchup. I did not pick the win. So, which is, I'm not surprised that Tessa won. It would have been interesting to see if they actually gave the win to Mayu. But it was a good matchup at 73. Tessa Blanchard had an in-ring performance of 79, and Mayu Itami had an in-ring performance of a 70. All right, moving on. I decided to add another matchup that I didn't really plan just because I had so much time available. So I decided to put the Death Triangle, Rey Fenix, Pentagon Jr., and Pac versus Rob Terry and the Outcasts of Victor and Connor. And in a decent matchup, Death Triangle won over them when Pac defeated Connor, the Shooting Star Senton. Rob Terry displayed a brutal monster gimmick. It got above average. Rob Terry's getting better at his gimmick. Pac had excellent out there. He had an 85 in-ring performance. Pentagon Jr. had a 71. Rey Fenix had an 80. Rob Terry was a 34, which is not surprised there. Victor had a 45. And Connor had a 34. Ooh. That's not a surprise for those two. A 70 rating for this matchup? Yeah, I'll take it. It probably could have been a lot worse. Just because I'm pretty sure Connor is in decline or close to it. And so is Rob. And Rob Terry was never really good in the ring when he was in TNA. So he may have gotten better over the recently. But I doubt it. And in a women's tag team matchup, we have the team of Tenille Dashwood and Kris Statlander taking on Mercedes KMV and her friend, and their team name called Supremacy. Her partner is Devonna Ward, formerly known as Bayley. Did you think it was going to be anyone else? Come on. I don't know if you guys you thought this was predictable as or not, because I pre-recorded all of these. So as you're seeing this, the comment section could be littered. It's gonna be Bayley. I don't know. If you're correct, well, good for you. It wasn't as surprising as I was hoping it would be, though I honestly didn't think it was gonna be that surprising. But they are gonna be officially in the women's tag division, because I really want to elevate the women's tag and make that important. I will be using them as singles in competition as well here and there, so they can have individual feuds and tag team feuds. But for the next few months, they're going to be primary in the tag division with their storylines. In a bout that had great wrestling, a decent reaction from the crowd, Supremacy defeated Tenille Dashwood and Kris Statlander in 20 minutes and 9 seconds when Devonna Ward defeated Kris Statlander by pinfall with a show of force. Marcia KV was ahead and carried the matchup in in-ring performance. Devonna had a legit athlete gimmick and above rating. Kris Statlander was getting better at her gimmick. Both teams have great chemistry, which is awesome to see. Wow, Mercedes had 100% in-ring performance. No wonder why she carried this matchup. Devonna had 70. And Kris Statlander had a 61, and Tenille Dashwood had 55. Now 55. Has the rise of Supremacy storyline progress and gained heat. Just so you know, this has been the name of the storyline the entire time. Every time I said the rise of the women's division, it's actually been the rise of Supremacy. But moving on, we had a good overall matchup, 74. I think that's the best rating so far, I believe. I could be wrong. I'm still tired today. But overall, I think it's good. So let's move on. And we have Hangman Adam Page and Kenny Omega taking on the Best Friends for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. And yes, Hangman Page got over his withdrawal, and he is back in time to help Kenny defend the AEW World Tag Team Championships. In about that had great wrestling in good heat. The Best Friends defeat Page and Omega in 25 minutes and 16 seconds when Trent Beretta defeated Kenny Omega by pinfall with a tornado DDT. During the matchup, we also saw Hangman Adam Page turn on Kenny Omega. The Best Friends win the AEW World Tag Team Championships. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Page is turned on his friend. We all knew this was going here, but I wanted to throw that swerve in there of him getting sober. Now that I think of it, I should have put a segment in here also of him grabbing a drink. So let's just say he grabbed a drink after this, and it was all rouge. We got the nice little tease at the end of their match with the Young Bucks, where Page looked like he might have turned on Kenny. They've kind of gotten away from that since Page hasn't been on TV since the pandemic. I'm going with the idea that they're continuing this. I didn't want to do it at Double or Nothing. I wanted to keep that matchup there overall, but use it to push the fracture, but I was saving it for here. Hangman Page turns heel. But yes, I put the tag belts and the Best Friends. I love the idea of the Best Friends being the tag team champions. I actually thought they were actually going to be the inaugural tag champions because you can see how they were booked last summer. They were pushed pretty well. They attacked by the Dark Order. Yes, they lost to the Dark Order at All Out for the bye in the tag title tournament, but which I thought wasn't necessarily a mistake, but I thought it was a great idea. What you could do is give the Dark Order the push, and you could have the Dark Order and Best Friends in the finals, and then have the Best Friends beat the Dark Order for the tag titles, and that would have been a redemption. Coming back and winning. But I think they didn't think the Best Friends got over enough to put the belts on. They clearly felt the same way about the Dark Order, so they decided to go a different direction, I feel. I'm going to make them the tag champions. I like it there. If I decide to bring in the six-man tag tournaments, six-man tag championships, but 74 overall rating, I'll take it. Kenny had 85 rating, Page had a 64, Trent had a 77, and Chuck Taylor had a 63. And this progresses the fracture storyline. I'm surprised this didn't actually gain heat. But we had a decent matchup between Hikaru Shida when she defeated Nyla Rose in 15 minutes and 8 seconds by pinfall. Yeah, you can read on the screen what she used. I'm gonna butcher it. Shida made her second defense of the AEW World Championship. Shida had a 47 rating. Nyla Rose had a 50, so she had a better rating overall. That's good. The rest of the Supremacy storyline continues, because I want that interplayed there with the women. That's going to be the major story for the women for right now. What the goal will be eventually to split this off into multiple women's storylines. 48. Man, I wish it was a little bit higher. And then in the main event, we have Jon Moxley taking on number one contender and the winner of the Casino ladder match, Darby Allin. In a superb matchup, Jon Moxley defeats Darby Allin in 20 minutes and 6 seconds by pinfall with a Death Rider, which during the matchup we had Brian Cage distract Moxley, but it didn't make a difference when Moxley makes his first AEW World Championship defense. That is only in game. I am counting on my end the number of defenses he's actually had, which would be 3. This will be number 3. I just forgot to put in the database before I started this game the correct number of defenses, though I didn't know how many there were of the tag titles for Kenny and Paige. So it is officially 3, but in game it's only his first. And yes, I decided to have Brian Cage interfere on Darby's behalf for a specific reason. He wants to be AEW World Champion, so why not put it on in his opinion, the easier opponent? Yes, he's a big dude, but you have the hardcore nature of Jon Moxley. So that's why I had him interfere here. Well, just try to distract him to give Darby Allin heads up. That way he could then potentially get a world title shot that way. But this progressed the Taz and Brian Cage and Darby Allin storyline, which was great. He gained some heat. Overall ratings is 69, which I'm a little disappointing. For a 66 for Darby in ring, he's going up. He's getting better, and his segments are doing much better. I just kind of wish this was hit the 70 marker. But overall, I'll take it. It was still a good matchup. I can't be disappointed with that rating because some people would probably put Darby Allin a lot lower. I actually think he's actually should be a little bit higher in game, but not enough where I should go and fix it. With that being our main event, let's check out what our overall rating for the pay-per-view, or the special really. And in an overall rating, we got a 70, which is pretty good. I think that's actually a little bit better than what we had for Double or Nothing. I'll put the actual grade for Double or Nothing right here on screen so you can see what that was. But we had a 70 overall. We had gained popularity in 34 regions, which is key. That's great. Our popularity is on the rise, which is always a good thing. We want our popularity to go up. I mean, buys for this should go up somewhat. That means our TV ratings should go up. Then maybe we can start to get bigger and better tier deals in like Japan. But there you go. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Fyter Fest is in the bag. Comment down below what you thought of the show. Did you agree with my conclusions, where I'm taking this? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Are you somewhere in between? Are you interested to see how this is going to affect the Elite with Hangman Page turning on Kenny? And what does this mean for the Elite? You'll have to tune into Dynamite this coming week to get some of those answers. Maybe, maybe not. But let me know down in the comment section. While you're at it, you made it to the end of this video, please give this video a thumbs up. You're clearly liking what you're seeing. And if you like it enough, please consider sharing this video on your social media. It really helps out Zop Gaming and the show overall. And since it's right there next to that thumbs up and you're going to give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, and turn on all notifications so you know when all fantasy booking and Zop Gaming content goes live. This has been Fantasy Booking. Thank you again for watching, and have a great rest of your day. And I'll talk to you in my next video. Bye.